Estamos aquí con la banda de Crowning y mi nombre es José Morales. Vamos a hacer una pequeña entrevista. So, what do you think about the city of León?
It's pretty cool. I like the authentic architecture. You know, it's a lot different than the United States. You know, we're from Chicago, so, you know, we're used to skyscrapers in America, you know, in general. But this is cool. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Mexico.
Okay. So, have you already eaten a typical dish from the city?
No, we haven't. We just rolled in a couple hours.
No guacamayas, no, nothing from here.
Any recommendations?
Well, the guacamayas are very good, yes. And I don't know if you know about the elotes.
Oh yeah.
Have you eaten that?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
specifically from here?
No, not from here.
I recommend that.
We'll do it after the show, for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
There are some...
My dad's from here.
Your dad is from here?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel and what do you expect from tonight's show?
I hope, you know, the kids come out and I hope it's crazy, you know. I'm very stoked to be here, and let's rock and roll, you know.
What is the history of the band? How it all started?
Go ahead.
Dave might be the one for that one.
Okay, so Justin and I have known each other for almost a decade, I'd say now, and we started playing together in a different band, and then when that band kind of quit, we started up this band. It was a lot heavier than that band. We found Vanessa first. We used to have another guitar player, and then Vanessa ended up taking over on guitar. Vanessa used to play bass. And then we got Lo on bass. We rented him from another band called Frail Body, and then we asked him to join permanently. And then actually before that, we got Trillian on vocals. We played a show at his house, in his basement.
Yeah, I saw him play my house in the basement, and I was like, and I messaged Vanessa the next day. I was like, yo, can I come try out? And here I am. You know?
Yeah. Who proposed the name of the band and why did you decide?
Oh God, I feel like I can probably take this one. I think this was my fault. So the original band that Dave talked about just a second ago that we were in was called Pregnancy Pact. And so we thought it would be funny, like, haha, our next band is called Crowning. And then, of course, this is like the first band I've ever been in that anyone has ever given a shit about. And if I had any choice in the matter, I would pick a different name. I did not expect anyone would ever care or hear any of this. So I was like, yeah, who cares what we fucking name it? Yeah, terrible decision in retrospect, but we're stuck with it now. So we are Crowning, and we will always be Crowning forever.
Of your albums, which one is the one that most defines what Crowning is?
So we've got a bunch of releases, but we really just have the one LP, and that's got to be the one, right? Survival Sickness is our LP, and that's really the one I think that kind of, if we were on the map at all, that's the one that did it.
Yeah, that's what most of the stuff we're going to play tonight comes from. We've got a couple songs coming off newer releases, but the bulk of our set is still the Survival Sickness stuff, and I know that's personally my favorite stuff that we've done as a band.
Same.
Yeah, great. It's good. So what do you base your inspiration on when you are composing both the music and the lyrics of your songs?
Do you want to do lyrics?
Well, they pretty much put together the music, and I write the lyrics. And, you know, I usually just write anything about society, you know, and I don't know. It's a weird thing, and the music tells me what to write, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Survival Sickness, at least, is kind of a concept album, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You should talk about that a bit. You never get to brag about that.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much it's like, you know, the end of the world and the society, and, you know, and it's like very hard to like, you know, rebuild it, you know, to where we become, and like, and it's like really hard to, survive. You know, and it's like, in order to survive, you have to do evil things. So that's like the survival sickness, you know. I don't know. It's putting me on the spot there.
I'm sorry. Then music-wise, Dave kind of tends to write the skeletons of the songs, though we all, you know, everyone kind of contributes. Well, Dave will come in with a riff or two, or Vanessa will come in with a riff or two, and we'll just sort of workshop them in the dingy basement where we practice until we're all happy with it, until we've added enough weird little catches and things like that, and kind of created something, you know, that we're all pretty strongly opinionated when it comes to the music. So there's a lot of kind of just butting heads until we come up with something that we're all happy with, and it's Sometimes it takes a little while, and sometimes it's a slow process, but it's worked for us thus far. We're happy with it, I
Yeah,
think.
absolutely.
Okay, so and about the music, what inspires you to make the music?
I'm a big fan of that just early 2000s era of music where it's very abrasive and yet very triumphant, and it has a tendency to start as one thing and end up as another. There isn't a lot of repeated sections. It doesn't do a lot of the verse chorus kind of stuff. It starts in one place, that leads to a next place, and usually ends somewhere triumphant if I'm writing it.
I think Dave and I have really similar music tastes. Like we really like early 2000s, like post-hardcore.
I'm curious to know about this. What do you think about Mexican rock? Have you heard Mexican rock?
I have not.
Well, do you mean Mexican rock specifically, or like other Mexican bands? We played with like screamo bands and stuff like that.
Oh, well, there are some bands. I don't know if you know, but it's like the main band of here in Mexico. It's called Tree.
Tree?
Tree. Yeah,
No.
it's TRI.
Okay.
It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard of
Yeah,
it.
no.
Or I don't know. Mana. Have you heard from Mana?
No.
No.
Well, I
Cultured.
Wait, M-A-N-A?
Yeah, MANA. Yeah, you know.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think most of our knowledge of like Mexican music tends to come from like the other screamo bands and the bands that we've
Just
kind of
heavy music
interacted
in
with down
general,
here, like
yeah.
obviously Sótanos, who we're touring with, Joliet, Naivete, Habak, bands like that. We've kind of gotten the wonderful opportunity to cross paths with, but definitely not as knowledgeable about kind of like more mainstream or like even more well-known Mexican stuff outside of our little corner of the world.
Okay, you mean like
Our little corner of the music world,
maybe not rock, but have you heard from Peso Pluma?
No.
No, you have not.
No. What kind of music is it?
No, it's like it's called corridos tumbados. It's almost like Tigres del Norte, but very modern. I mean, it's very updated.
You'll have to give us some recommendations so we can listen to it in the van later, because I want to hear it. It sounds cool.
I like reggaeton. Is that from Mexico?
Reggaeton? Well, no, I think that's from another country.
Okay.
Puerto Rico.
Oh, Puerto Rico. Okay.
Have you ever thought about exploring new rhythms or genres with any or why?
I knew rhythm specifically. I guess that's probably a me question. And honestly, the answer is no, because I'm not a very good drummer. But there are. I was gonna say, I want to give a shout out to our friends. There's this great band called Masanera, and they do a lot of kind of Latin-inspired rhythms. Their drummer Mark is
great.
An absolute machine. Such a good drummer. Brings in a lot of kind of Latin rhythm stuff to their songs, and it blends so well. They work a lot with another band called Quiet Fear, who are a Latino band from, I believe, Southern California. But like a lot of them are like, I believe, Mexican in origin, and yeah, they do a lot of, they have some collab stuff together, and it's a lot of kind of rhythms that you don't find in traditional screamo, certainly not in traditional American screamo, and it's really cool. So I just want to make sure that they get some love for being a band that does that.
Okay. And have you think about using or exploring new rhythms?
Yeah, always. We're a big, at the moment at least, we're a big time signature band, so we do a lot of switching between 5 and 6 and 4 and 7 sometimes, and going back and forth. So I'm always interested in trying to figure out new ways to tell a story, as long as it doesn't seem too jarring to go from one to the other.
So with the musical genres that are becoming fashionable, do you think that rock is losing popularity?
Yeah, consistently, I would say. Yeah, I would say since about 2000, rock has been losing popularity longer and longer and getting kind of more sanitized over time. But like all things, once it's officially over, it'll start rebuilding and coming back.
Okay.
I disagree.
Oh,
Yeah.
you disagree?
Yeah.
We gotta back that up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I want to hear the thesis.
I don't know. I don't think that rock music is declining. I think it's always growing and evolving. It hits phases. It comes back. It goes back, and then it brings it back to the present. It's just like a circle. It's always a circle of like trends, and I don't think it's ever declining. It's always just moving forward.
Okay. What do you think about that?
I feel it's something to be passed to the next generation, and I think all the Zoomers are like picking it up where when we retire, there's going to be the next generation doing it.
I mean, I would just say like at least I grew up in the '90s and rock was like really at a big peak at that point. Especially in the 2000s, a lot of like underground stuff and less accessible stuff somehow kind of got more mainstream acceptance, or there was a lot more of like an acceptance for elements of like post-hardcore and even like metalcore like coming in and really kind of like making a new landscape. And in the early 2010s, I personally kind of noticed a shift towards more like electronic dance music, lots of focus on big festivals as opposed to like individual shows for individual groups or bands, and becoming more of a fest atmosphere. And there was a really good like budding like screamo post-hardcore metalcore scene throughout all of the 2010s, but that laid like underneath all of that. But what I'm noticing now is that a lot of the Zoomers and a lot of the kids are picking up guitar, and a lot of them are honestly just kind of like bored of that stuff. And I mean, I listen to plenty of electronic music. I think we all do. We all like a lot of that stuff, but it had its moment, and I think a lot of people are bored of it. It's very formulaic, and a lot of what the Zoomers are coming up with, especially in our sort of like corner of the music world, it's explosive. And I think I've always been having conversations over the past year about what I've seen out in the world with the younger kids and what they're coming up with. And I mean, they outsell some of our bands in like venues and shit like that. Like we'll play a show and be like, okay, that's cool, and then I'll open up my phone and there's some fucking TikTok video of some house with 100 people crammed into it, and it's like, oh, well, there's the crowd. So they're eventually going to get into their 20s, be able to buy vans and tour. So it's fine. It's going to be here forever, and I think that it's going to be a new wave in the next decade, I believe. So it's a good time to be a band right now.
I mean, I kind of agree with Lo. I feel like rock music as a whole, and especially kind of like mainstream radio rock music, had definitely been in a notable decline. But that at the same time, during that decline, there's a lot of right under the surface, growth. Again, in kind of Low, we were a screamo band. That's kind of the world we know. And right now, there's like a huge explosion in all these bands that are getting popular on TikTok. It's like kids that are like sometimes like 14 years old, or like in high school, just playing these packed out shows that are just insane, explosive, like energy, like, things that you really rarely get to see. And it's really exciting to know that like that's kind of the generation that we get to hand this off to, because they're doing such a good job of it. And I think that something like that, when they start to kind of crack through being just a thing that other weirdos know and kind of start to get some mainstream popularity, the energy that they bring with it is going to bring a lot of people kind of flooding back into this type of music and to kind of rock music in general. I think there's a lot of room for growth, and I think that those kids are gonna be the ones who kind of spearhead increase. It's all cyclical, but I think it's kind of at an ebb now, but it's gonna shoot back up pretty soon.
So look, I have a box right here with some questions, but they're in Spanish.
All right.
Okay, so you will choose. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's for the luck. You will choose one, and I will traduce it. Okay? I will. Okay. So, what's the most crazy thing you have done for love?
Ooh, that's a great question. God, what have I done?
No, you can keep this though, because that's your badge now.
Okay. You can answer for me. I want to hear that.
Get married.
Oh yeah. Oh come on. That's not a very good answer. It is, I guess. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. Shit. I don't know if I have a great answer for that. I gotta think on it for a moment. Does anyone else want to take this question? Anyone else have a good story?
Well,
I think this one's for you. And I think it is.
yeah, that's for you.
Everyone, go ahead.
Oh, getting married doesn't count though. Like that's like
Another
a normal
thing.
thing.
Maybe when you were younger, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm a pretty reserved guy. I don't know if I've done a lot of crazy things for love. I kind of, you know, I don't know. It's like I've never done any like insane like fly across the country and like hold up a boombox outside someone's window playing love songs or anything. I don't know. That's not really the type of person I am.
Have you been to the theaters alone or by yourself?
Have you been to what alone?
To the theaters.
The theaters?
Yes.
Oh, like a movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love going to movies by myself. Yeah,
Okay,
it's great.
okay.
Yeah.
What was the last movie you went to see?
By myself?
By yourself, yes.
Let's see, last movie I went to see by myself. I had a kid about 4 years ago and just stopped going to movies entirely. But let's see, I would say the last one I really liked that I went to by myself was Place Beyond the Pines.
Just beyond.
Yeah,
Okay.
it came out probably at this point 7 or 8 years ago. Let's see, it's got Ryan Gosling in it. It's got Bradley Cooper in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's about 3 hours long. It spans like 3 generations of people attempting to get revenge on each other in order to not figure out their own issues, basically. But yeah, no, I love going to movies by myself. I mean, it's a dark room where you're not allowed to talk to the guy next to you. Why not go by yourself, right?
Okay, so let's go with the next question with you.
I got off so much easier than Justin.
Yeah, what
did.
the hell? That's insane.
Which way are you better flirting? Yeah, like
Your Mac game. If you
Oh, in
will.
person for sure.
in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Could you say like a quote?
I don't know. I just
Flirt with me.
Yeah,
You see me at the bar. I'm a fine, shapely young lady. You would like to chat me up. How do you approach?
hi. How are you doing? My name is James.
Hello, James. Yeah, it's gonna be really awkward for you. Hi, James. I'm
Hey.
Justin.
You come here often? I know. Yeah.
Okay. So you're better flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see him on the internet. It's fucking dog shit.
Yeah, it's dog
that was
shit.
the good stuff.
Okay. So let's go with you.
All right, let's get some deep existential.
It could be any question.
Yeah.
So what would you do if you see or find a bag full of money by the street? What would you do?
I mean, I would probably assume that it's counterfeit or something that I probably shouldn't put my hands on. I try to stay out of trouble. I've caused enough trouble in my own life by my own being a dumbass, so it seems like that would be a bad decision. So,
So you would not take it.
nah, I'd just be like, I'm gonna get shot if I touch that first. I'm just gonna not. I'm gonna not mess with it.
Okay, so now let's put it this way: if you win $1 million, what would
Oh,
you do
the
with
lottery?
that $1 million?
Oh,
I mean, I want to know what you do with the money.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would just like live a simple life. I would just I would fix up my motorcycles, fix up my truck, pay all my bills, and just kind of like support my family from there on out. And I mean, maybe make some of this touring stuff go a little easier. But you know, I would also maybe consider starting a label to like try to like give back or like become involved a little bit more in the business end. I would really like to start a venue in my hometown that's a little bit more legit. A lot of my background in the music scene was like helping run local shows and stuff like that. And a lot of that is just like scraping stuff together. And there's a lot of kids in our town that want to play but have nowhere to play. And there's a lot of bars in our town or a lot of venues in our town that will not book bands like us and won't book hardcore, won't book screamo, won't book anything that's not really like a cover band. And I think that's shit. So I would probably buy a building and open
Okay,
that.
that's very nice. That's very nice. So let's go with the last one.
Would you prefer to share your private diary with the world, or make a movie of the worst moment of your life?
Okay. So what do you prefer?
I'm an open book. I have no shame about my feelings. I'm very comfortable talking about my feelings, even like the worst things imaginable. So I have no problem sharing a diary. Reliving my worst moment, I think, would be extremely painful for me.
Okay.
So yeah, I would just share my diary.
Okay. That would be interesting too. Okay, okay. So, oh, well, guys, I'm so sorry. I think we're running out of time.
Sure. No
So I
problem.
will go ahead with some questions to finish. So, have you already learned some phrase in Spanish?
See?
Yes. Which one? Which one?
Que trencita bendita. ¿Cómo están? See?
I learned the most important things I could figure out beforehand, which were lo siento and pretty much lo siento. I just apologized a lot.
No worries, no
It's gotten me pretty far in life.
Okay. So, have you?
Una cerveza, por favor.
Una cerveza, por favor. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how to speak in Spanish, but what's your favorite phrase in Spanish? Or the most one you say?
Well, my Spanish is un poco chueco, pero I didn't know the word for cool, and everybody has been saying chido.
Chido. Yes.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay, okay. So, have you?
I've learned a lot about. Hey, I got a mic actually. Yeah, that's all right. I learned a lot about how to talk about merch so far. Tenemos camisas, vanilos.
Okay, okay.
Estemos ahí en uno minuto.
Okay, okay, okay. When are you gonna come again to Mexico or Leon? I mean,
No plans of yet, but I mean, we're always open to it. So
Yeah, it's been great so far. So definitely, always looking for an opportunity to come back. Saton, who we've been out with, have been fantastic hosts, and it's been such a cool experience. So I hope we get a chance to do it. I hope we don't get banned from the country or something like that. For
I don't think you will.
I don't know. We could be the first band to ever play a show so bad that we are asked not to return.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I believe in us.
Okay, so this one it's good, and I wanted to hear it too. So, with all your experience and your trajectory, what are the motivation speech you could give to the new talents?
yeah, get out there and see the world. I mean, there's a great big world out there, and so much music. You just get out of your hole and just see the world and listen to music. That's that's what I do.
Abrasive music is global. Just go find the communities. We're all out here.
Honestly, my motivational speech would probably not be very motivational. It's that it's weirdly intoxicating. I find myself repulsed by it, but unable to stop. And this will happen to you as well. You will get on the road. You will hate it. You will be miserable. You will shit in the worst bathroom that God has ever created. You will sleep on kitchen floors, and you will not be able to stop. It's so you just can't.
It's fucking awesome.
Once you do it, you just can't give up. It's so much fun, and it's terrible, and you will never want to give up once you start.
Okay, so what would you say to the new talent?
Show up for your community, and your community will show up for you.
I would say don't expect to make money. It's really far-fetched if you to think you're going to nowadays, and you really have to love it, and you have to be really more organized than you think you would be. Really, the days of just showing up with your guitar and playing music and getting popular really aren't there anymore. You really have to forge.
Yeah, you got to work your ass off.
You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. That's the most, I would say. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable, being in weird situations, and just making the best of it.
Okay, so well, I really appreciate that you took the time to answer our questions. And also, you are crowning, right?
That's us.
Okay,
For better
okay,
or worse.
perfect. Okay, muchas gracias amigos del Callejón. Esto fue todo.